Iowa Debris and Jennifer Lopez on talent.
I gotta ask the public, like, do people really care about Lil Nas X anymore? Like, here's the thing. Lil Nas X has shown himself to be like a promising star. But I feel like with this DreamBoy era, he hasn't really put out too much to get the girls excited. But let's talk about it. Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the Cake Radio Show. I'm the CakeDive, and today is the 15th day of Vlogsmas. I'm so excited for this to be over. Like, we have 7 more days. That's crazy. And I'm like already running out of ideas. Like I said, I've been running out of ideas, but I'm literally like pulling at the seams. Like, I'm running out of ideas. Like, y'all let me know, please, what y'all want me to talk about in these next couple episodes. Because, like, it's getting serious for a sister. Like, it's getting serious for a sister. Like, it's getting really serious. But today, I came to the forum to talk about Lil Nas X because he is trying to roll out. He's threatening to release new music. He's threatening to release the DreamBoy album, his newest album, which is coming soon. And the girls is like confused. The girls is mixed on this. Like, the girls is mixed. The girls are mixed on it, sister. So, like, we all remember how at the start of this year, well, it's been a really long year. 2024 has been a really long year because if you remember far back enough, we cannot forget that in January, he released what was supposed to be his single for his next album, and the single was called J Christ. And like, it was kind of leaning into a lot of the rage bait and controversy that Lil Nas kind of likes flirting with. Like, you had him kind of presenting himself as like a religious figure. That's one. He was trying to get some religious controversy because you know that, like, a lot of Christians, especially Christians on the internet, be cutting up. And that's coming from some who Christian themselves. Like, some like Christians on the internet really be cutting up and being like, "Oh, like, this is simple, like this." Da, 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 da. So you wanted like the Christian crowd to start cutting up and like being, you know, dramatic and building press over the single, and then he was, using like devil imagery and, religious imagery throughout the music video, throughout the song. He's making references to like some of like the shoes that he was making, like it was like the blood shoes or whatever it was that um they ended up getting he ended up getting like a lawsuit for, and like having to stop producing. And the song didn't do too much numbers. Like, the song was like the girls was clicking down on it. Like, no one was really streaming it. No one was really feeling the track, and he kind of disappeared a little bit. Like, he was making singles. He was making music still. Like, he did like "Where Do We Go Now," which was the song from like his I believe it was from his documentary, and "Here We Go," which was a song that he made for the Netflix film Beverly Hills Cops Axel F when that came out. And when those songs came out, like, they didn't really do too much numbers either. Like, I know some people were talking about how Lil Nas X was gonna be on like was gonna be a part like doing the music for Beverly Hills Cop, but people weren't really talking about, like, I didn't hear anybody talk about the song when it came out. I haven't listened to that song, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then with "Where Do We Go Now," like, I remember some people were talking about him being like, oh, like, he's trying to recover from J Christ and stuff like that. And I remember people talking about the documentary and how one of the videos that I watched on it, which I thought was really engaging and really interesting on it, was the King of Reeds, Justin James, his video on, like, it was like Dear Lil Nas X. And first of all, I love King of Reeds. He makes incredible content. If you guys haven't watched his content, definitely check him out. Um, because he really be clocking the girls' tea, and he really has shown a lot of growth throughout his career that I really respect and really have a lot of respect for. Plus, that man is fine, no shade. But getting into the teas, getting into what he was talking about in his Dear Lil Nas X video. I'm blanking out if it was like I'm pretty sure it was a video that's available on YouTube. He does have a Patreon. I used to subscribe to the Patreon um, for a good minute. But his video was talking about how in the documentary, he, like Lil Nas X, wasn't really showing a full behind the scenes look at his life, and like really didn't hold too many things across the fire. Like it seemed like he was just kind of doing a documentary just to do a documentary. And one of the things that he was talking about, like that he wished he could have like addressed and gone deeper on, was like how his family like was mixed and like wasn't really feeling him coming out and like his sexuality, and how like they're kind of willing to acknowledge it but still not fully accept it just because he's gotten so successful. And you know, the producers and the people who are involved in even Lil Nas X like not fully going that route and being like, oh, like how do you feel about this type of thing? And the other thing is just the feeling like how, you know, because Justin King of Reeds is a black man, he's a black queer man, he a dark skinned black queer man at the same point. He was talking about how Lil Nas X seemingly with this documentary wasn't trying to appeal to like black queer people. Like I felt like he was trying to appeal to like white gays and like wider audiences, like which was a broader mainstream audience. And his feelings that like that is not the approach that he should have done, especially when getting a lot of fan support from black audiences and from like the black spaces of music. And I'm inclined to agree. Now, I will put an asterisk to my thoughts because I haven't watched the documentary, and you know, I'm going off of this just from how like I've seen Lil Nas X move in interviews and you know Twitter and his songs, but it's kind of very evident to me that he is like appealing, like he wants to appeal to like this mainstream white audience, and you know I get why, because like you know you're signed to a label and you really exploded, like he really exploded with like Old Town Road, which kind of you know was one of the not one of the first, but it was one of the more recent songs that kind of brought black people into the country space, and also like changed a lot of the game because it was charting for a hot minute, and he was a gay man, a black gay man making country, and like really caught the girls off guard when he came out. But you have like again, you know, you have that you have some of the albums and some of the work that he did with like Montero, which I feel like was in alignment with the like it was stuff that was kind of, some of the stuff was like for general audiences and for mainstream audiences, quote unquote white people, but some of the songs under like Scoop, like it felt like it was for the girls, it was for the gays, it was for the black people, like it was for the, and I can't even say the word on that because like YouTube will demonetize the video in the episode. But you have songs like Scoop, which are really doing the things, and I feel like a lot of people should tap into Scoop with Doja Cat on there because like it really eats. And then you have songs that like people really tuned into, like Industry Baby with Jack Harlow, and you look at how the BET Awards snubbed Lil Nas X that one year, and I think I actually covered it during the early days of this podcast, back when it wasn't even on YouTube, and how Lil Nas X was making a single talking about it, and how, you know, I even talked about how the BET Awards is like old establishment, like black people who do not care about gay people and like the LGBTQ community, even though we make a lot of, you know, we have a lot of success and we make a lot of this entertainment shit run around and run the world. but they had Jack Harlow be at the like performance at this at the BET Awards and get awards at the BET Awards and get nominations at the BET Awards. Mind you, that's a whole white man who is grifting. Like he's like that's literally like one of the Post Malones of the world. Like he is making content for black people and like trying to flirt with the black spaces as long as he can. And then when it's time, he's gonna switch over and appeal to the white people. Like we can't forget that we saw the clip of Jack Harlow trying to sing that My Way song or whatever the song he was singing. Like he was trying to be serving like jazz singer teas, and it's like you wasn't given this before. Like you was trying to be a rapper. Like you stick to that if you really trying to be like that. But anyways, you again like, but I feel like with Jay Christ, it felt like he was kind of trying to go back mainstream route with like what got him popular and gotten him like success with the mainstream audiences. But the mainstream audiences, like one thing about mainstream audiences is that even though like even though like you can gain success by doing the same things over and over again, when you're a black artist, you can't do that. Like it's like black people, black creators, black artists are held to a completely different standard than white people and white creators and white audiences. Black people, if they try doing the same thing over and over again without like changing the game, without really like improving and essentially reinventing the wheel, audiences are gonna turn away and be like, oh, like he is just a one trick pony. Like they're a one trick pony. Like they're just giving the things that they've been giving before. Like this is boring, and everyone's gonna click off and stop buying the album and stop watching the YouTube video and just like not support. And then you're like fucked. And that's what happened with Lil Nas X, because he, like for the longest time, people were fine and really enjoying the stuff that he was doing and was like completely cool with it. But when Jay Christ came out, it shifted. People turned on him. They're like, oh, he's doing the same things over again. And he's literally tried stuffing like every single controversy and meme and stuff that he was involved in this video. And people were turned off by it. Both the mainstream white audience that he was trying to chase and the black audiences who were rooting for him for the beginning and wanted a black male pop star like to really do the thing. Is Lil Nas X R&B or pop? Like, he's pop. He's a pop star. Like, he's a pop star, like rapper type beat. But and people were really clowning him for Jay Christ when that came out for months, and then he basically disappeared. He did those singles, and even when he did those singles, like people were not trying to give him the time of day. And then he came back and was teasing a new era, the DREAMBOY era. And the videos were really kind of getting people talking, getting people excited and interested. And then you had Light Again, which out of the two singles we've gotten from him, that's actually personally one of my favorite singles that he wrote out from this, project. And then Need That Boy. And in between the rollout of those two singles, well, first of all, like the singles, I don't believe the singles really did that much numbers, but he has talked about on social media how he doesn't really care about the numbers this time. He just wants to roll with this music and make a project that he's happy with, which, good for you. But the project wasn't doing that much numbers. And, there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm team, fuck the charts. Like, I'm here for the arts, not the charts. But I feel like a lot of people were also talking, like a lot of people throughout this era are talking about how, he's rolling this era out and it's supposed to be like this really big thing, and people don't care. Like people aren't really tapping in. And then we can't forget that there was literally controversy in between the rollout of these singles and this album. You have, like, before Light Again came out, you had people like looking at some of the art that was being created for DREAMBOY and that aesthetic, and it literally like copy and paste another artist, and the artist coming forward and like addressing it and being like, oh, like, this is my stuff. Like, you really didn't have to copy this. Like, and people were really talking about how like Lil Nas X was a copycat and stuff like this, and how this has happened before, and all the type of things. Then the Light Again single came out, and we saw the cover art for it, and people were like, there were some people who were trying to make a stretch out of it, being like, oh, he's trying to copy FK Twigs for the Capra Songs album cover. but it wasn't really giving that outside of the coat. Like some people were really reaching and was really trying to just get at him. And then in between that single and Need That Boy, which was the next single that we got out of that, the girls saw that he is potentially allegedly dating like a white twink, some white boy. And the black girls and gays are not having that. Like, one thing about them, if you are dating a non-black person, especially a white person, it's like it's a whole situation. And it would be one thing if he like was dating this white dude and just didn't say anything about it. But he literally came forward and was posting a series of tweets being like, "Oh guys, like y'all need to leave me alone on this." Like I don't know if he said that he's not dating that person or what, but like he basically in the tweets were just like, "Oh, like I'm attracted to black people, like to black men, like I might be dating." But and it was, again, I talked about this in the Shamik War video. When people like when like black men like white people, it doesn't matter if they're like a straight black man or a queer black man, there's a good chunk of them that are like really weird when they move around with it. Like they're just like, they have to make it known or like make something slip that makes you be like, huh? Like if you got to look at it twice or listen to it twice to realize that like it's given like, not necessarily like it's given dog whistle a little bit, but like they're parading the fact that they're like interested in non-black partners. And then again, like there's no issue with dating non-black partners being black, but like it's the fact that you're gonna like parade it around that makes a lot of people have issues with it, or like be weird with the statements. Because in the Shamik Moore video, I was talking about how like Shamik Moore has like basically fetishized white women with an do I type like tweet about like, do he like white girls? With the Lil Nas X tweet, he's basically like, oh, like one day I might be dating a black man, the other day I might not. And it's like, that don't make no sense, my man. It's like, you could have like kept that to yourself, that last part to yourself. You could have been like, guys, I've dated black men before, I'm attracted to black men, y'all are really weird, y'all could leave it at that, and could have left it at that. Like it really, like, I get the conversation of like how we need more black celebrities to be dating black and how important that is and seeing that representation. But on the other hand, he was really weird for those tweets, and then he released like the cover art for Need That Boy. And I think he changed the cover art for that just to try to appease, or an attempt to appease, the people, the critics who were like talking about the situation, because in the promotional art and the cover art, like it shows who I believe to be a black man, like it's a light skin, mind you. But I think he was trying to do that to like appease those audiences and be like, oh, like I'm attracted to black men, like we using this. But it's like, since it's a light skin, like it doesn't really hit the mark. It doesn't land the landing. And people didn't stream Need That Boy, unfortunately. Like the girls wasn't listening to it. The girls didn't buy the music. And they, again, like someone on Twitter, I literally saw this. Someone posted on Twitter a quote retweet to what seems to be like a side account for DREAMBOY that's like at DREAMBOY, and is promoting the era and is posting things promoting this era, and they quote retweeted it. And this was the first time I was even aware about this account existing. But someone quote retweeted it and it was like, it's crazy how there's like a whole account that Lil Nas X is, you know, pushing and promoting, you know, this music, and nobody cares. And like part of it sucks because, again, like Lil Nas X is a good artist, he's talented, and you know, even with all this stuff going on, like I'm still rooting for him. I will still support and listen to the album when it comes out. But on the other hand, like he does have a long uphill battle to try to like regain the spot that he had. And I think that I feel like he is missing too many marks here for a lot of people to like for a lot of people to like really enjoy this era and enjoy him, that a lot of people are turning away, and it's making it a lot harder for him than it should be. But I wish him nothing but the best. I'm gonna stream the DREAMBOY album. Y'all let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about, you know, this era, how y'all feel about the singles. I liked Light Again. I was not feeling the other track. Will y'all be listening to the DreamBoy album? Do y'all care about the DreamBoy album? Do you even know that the DreamBoy album exists? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications on YouTube at Cake Radio Show, where you get episodes before anybody else. And then if you're listening to this on your podcast platforms, thank you so much for listening. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.